In this video, we are going to look at UConn's size problem. Yes, Geno Auriemma admitted he had a bit of concern about his size of his UConn roster. So, this came out during the press conference prior to the Dayton game. He was talking about the availability of Ayanna Patterson and how she will start doing individual workout sessions with the coaches, and he's hopeful to have her back soon because he mentioned how when they came out the other day for the national anthem, he was taking a look at them and he was like, man, we do not have the size comparatively to other teams or even like we have had in the past.
We were walking out for the national anthem yesterday or the other day, and I thought, man, we're small, man, compared to like a lot of teams that we've had here. Or you see, we're small. And then I looked and I went, but if I put a uniform on Jenna and Yana, man, we look like a really, really good team. So, yeah. Be nice to have her back.
And that is why he was hopeful that Ayanna Patterson would be back sooner rather than later. During the press conference as well, he was also asked if Ducharme was going to start against Dayton, and he was like, yeah, that's the plan for now, but we'll see what happens. So I don't know if that's in terms of her injuries. I doubt that, or if how they're going to mix and match, because I do think he is a little bit concerned about their size, and that is understandable as there are a number of teams with good size that could hurt UConn in the future, notably South Carolina, who put on a display against Notre Dame where they got 70 paint points against them. They just destroyed them inside, and I wonder if that gives him a bit of concern for the future if he does not get some more size and bigs that can sort of counteract that. If you don't have size, obviously the counter to that is to have a hell of a lot of shooting. And funny enough, when he was talking about Nika Mule and what she would give them, he was talking about the intangibles. If she can bring up the ball and get it to the right player for the right look. And the other thing was she needs to improve her shooting so that she'll be able to knock down the three-point opportunities that she will get, as she's likely to get a hell of a lot of those with Becker's back in play again. And I mentioned this after breaking down their preseason game or exhibition game against Southern Vermont, but that is really the plan. We're going to have a hell of a lot of shooting with Mule, Ducharme, Beckers, who shot 40% her freshman year, and Fudd, and we are going to crush teams, a bit of analytics, although he won't say that because he doesn't want to be just totally analytics and go crazy like Utah in every shot they take. He wants to run it through the offense, and everybody that gets a look, takes their shots from where they're comfortable at. That's his philosophy, but I do think they are going to play a bit of an analytical game, which is great when it works. The fear is those days when your shots are not dropping, what is your counterpunch, and hence why he wants Patterson back. Now, my read on it as well is he spoke a little bit prior to the exhibition game. He was asked about Amari DeBerry, what she could contribute. And it was, she's just in the doghouse. It's almost like they have given up on her. It's pretty clear. He was like, I need to find out what Amari can give me consistently. Some days at practice, she can be an effective shot blocker, rim protector. Other days, she can finish at the rim, but I just never know. I need to know what she will bring consistently before I can trust her in games, which seems to me indicates that she's just really still inconsistent when they go to practice.
Does Amari have one skill that she does pretty well in practice for you and is just working on other things?
It varies, there's glimpses of a lot of skills. It's us needing to get her to be consistent with those skills. There's days when she's finishing around the basket. There's days when defensively she's affecting shots. And there's days when she can rebound and help us. So there's a number of things that she could help us with. I just need to know what those are on a regular basis. And once we figure that out, then I think she'll be able to help us even more.
Now, Daniel Connolly pointed this out well in his stock up, stock down column on DeBerry, saying Auriemma used 11 of his 12 available players before the first quarter even ended, yet DeBerry remained on the bench until 1:53 in the second quarter and did not return again until late in the fourth, despite the coach repeatedly mentioning UConn's lack of front court depth throughout the preseason. And then he goes on to note, which is probably why she's not getting playing time, she didn't do much with her 7 minutes, finishing with no points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 block, and a plus-minus of -1. So noting this, there does not really seem to be a solution to this problem. You know, you need to hope that you get Patterson back, as well that Ice Brady develops, and as well you have Edwards. And ultimately, it'd probably be a good idea. I remember when Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi were talking when they were playing one-on-one, and basically Taurasi was bullying Bird and able to post her up a bit, but at the same time, Bird was crushing Taurasi from outside, and they both said the same thing. You can't have it all.
But there was like one day where we played one-on-one. And there was like, we played a couple games, like messing around. Yeah. And I remember I was like, because like she would make a move and I'd be right there. Mm-hmm. But she would just rise right the fuck up, like right over me and bop. And I was like, if I was only taller. And then I would do something and she'd be able, whatever. She'd be like, well, if I was only quicker. Yeah. You can't have it all. You can't have it all. And I was like, that is so true.
And that's the thing, I guess, UConn and Geno will need to come to terms with that, yeah, they would look like a really good team if Jan El Alfie was still there, but she is not, and it doesn't appear that he's willing to count on or try to develop DeBerry any further with giving her meaningful playing time. So you are going to have to make do with what you have, which isn't a bad option considering that they have a generational talent in Paige Beckers, and also that they also have AZ Fudd, who he also termed during the press conference a reluctant star who's starting to want to do more. So that's the thing, is that their backcourt will be healthy and deliver as they always envisioned them doing that. Now, noting that it is early and things change quickly, but let's just say they continue with the small ball in this lineup or something similar. It's basically they switch Ducharme out for DeBerry, which is another possibility. A good early test of how this might work against a super big team, if you like, and it's not actually UConn. It's actually the canary in the coal mine, I reckon, might be Utah, as they're going to play South Carolina in December, and that will be an interesting test because Utah has shooters, and you know what their strategy is going to be is let's spread this out and punish Cardoso if she's unwilling to come out, and if she does come out, then Peely will drive right by her. So that would be a nice little preview of what might happen when UConn meets up with them in February. As well, it's so early right now. Who can say who will develop or not develop? Does lightning strike DeBerry and all of a sudden she figures it out and my God, you have your big? Or Geno often compares Ice Brady to Willis Reed. So does she turn into your, undersized big but still damn good and one that they can count on and put side by side with Edwards? To be determined. It should be fun to watch how this team takes shape over the course of the season, as they have a lot of interesting and talented parts for sure. What are your thoughts on the starting lineup? Do you think it'll remain this during the season, or do you think he will mix and match for each opponent, essentially, not always rolling out the same lineup for each game? Anyway, let me know. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.